Only one more hour to the special broadcast.
Hey buddy, it's David.
I know who you are.
Yeah, I was just wondering just now if you're coming to the Christmas party tonight.
Nah, I can't. I'm busy.
You're not going to listen to one of those Alex Jones special broadcasts, are you?
This one's big. Jones is going to present more government documents showing a shadow government is controlling Antifa.
Well, it's not like you're going to miss it. All his shows are archived. You can listen to them anytime.
Huh, that's right. Well, I still can't because I'm trying to complete this InfoWars health regiment. I gotta do several exercises this time tonight.
Listen, Ebenezer, I've been thinking, this whole Alex Jones phase you've been going through, it's really been getting out of hand. It's affecting your job, your family, your friends. You're not the same since you started listening to him, and it's really becoming unpleasant.
Well, sometimes the truth is unpleasant. You just need to listen to him more often. Everyone is too brainwashed by the mainstream media, our government, and scientific institutions.
Are you saying I'm brainwashed?
No,
You claim to be for the truth, but you're not willing to say what you really believe about your friends?
Look, I just think that
You need to reconsider your preferences for news and how you take in information, because it's going to get you in trouble both short term and long term, especially at this time of year. Your family and I have been talking, and they're experiencing the same thing with you bringing up politics and Alex Jones conspiracy theories at the dinner table.
you've been talking to them?
We both agreed it's time for an intervention. I told them I would talk to you.
Well, thanks for creating more tension with my family.
That's not the intent. We're both trying to fix it. I'm hoping you'll be willing to talk. Listen, I gotta get going. The Christmas party invitation is still open. I'll talk to you later.
The humbug. I'll just have to buy him a new fluoride filter for Christmas. Oh, God, my head.
What was that?
Who's there? Greetings, Info Warrior. I am William Cooper, rival and inspiration to Alex Jones.
I know who you are. I have your book about aliens.
Forget that part.
My fluoride filter must be busted. You can't be real.
Oh, but I am real as the gay frogs in your backyard.
Alright. If you're real, who sent you? DHS? CIA? If you're not a figment of MK Ultra, then why are you here? You here to kill me?
Why no, you're just a sad, strange little fan of Alex Jones. I'm here to warn you with everything you need to know about Alex Jones.
But I already know everything about Alex Jones. I'm his biggest fan.
It is only what Jones tells you about himself.
Well, how do I learn more about him?
That is why I'm here. Now listen to me very carefully. You will be visited by 3 spirits. Listen to them carefully. Take everything they say into consideration. Do your own homework. I was once just like you, passionate about what I believed. They wanted to put me away, but I fought until the end.
Then what happened?
I shot a deputy in the head, and I was shot to death myself! And as punishment, I am forced to live in shackles, handcuffs, and chains for eternity. And the same thing will happen to you!
No, it can't. It mustn't. I'm not a violent person. I would never do something like that. There's a line for me, and I'm not going to cross it.
Listen to the spirits. Save yourself. Farewell.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Be not afraid, mortal.
For it is I, the ghost of Alex Jones past. When is this gonna end?
Until you have learned from us. Come, let us go far into the past of Alex Jones.
This is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy. Where are we? When are we? Hey, that's the Waco siege.
Yes, it is what gave Alex Jones his spark in his career.
But isn't Waco a perfect example of government tyranny and the state imposing its will on its citizens?
Not everything is in black and white. The Branch Davidians were a suicidal cult. They killed several cops in that siege. Their leader was a known child rapist. They burned their own compound down, killing everybody inside. Jones even rebuilt the church for the Davidians.
How come I've never heard this before?
The details about specific events are out there. You just need to widen where you look.
Okay, Jones may have been wrong about this his whole life, but that doesn't change the fact that he's right about everything else.
We shall move forward then.
When are we now? Where is anything? Are we at the beginning of time?
No, just almost at the start of the millennium.
A massive Grod unguided rocket
Wait,
attacks are being launched on the
what's
city
that?
indiscriminately right now.
You
Air
are
and
listening
artillery
to Alex
bombardments
Jones
as well.
and his broadcast
It's
on
absolutely out of
Y2K.
control. It is pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you the news first on Y2K. The newest developments: the Pennsylvania nuclear plant has been shut down. One of the main systems transferring the power from it failed, but they say it's not a Y2K problem. And the things I'm experiencing here in Austin, Texas, the shelves are empty of water and some gas stations are running out of fuel.
I'm sure you'll recognize this old friend.
I want you to understand that this little series that we're doing is nothing personal against Alex Jones or anybody else. But I happen to know for a fact, absolute fact, and listen to me very carefully, that people who practice this kind of broadcasting and claim to be an American patriot do nothing but discredit all of us eventually. It's wrong. It is absolutely wrong. And it's wrong to allow that to happen, especially when the host takes it and runs with it without any checking, without any calling, without any research, without anything.
Vladimir Putin, who is known as Vladimir the Ruthless. This person is on an unbelievable power trip and resembles a demon. And this information is vital, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing the New World Order really come out in full force. More wars than have been in the last 50 years are going on right now.
Is that true, folks? Are there more wars going on right now than in the last 50 years? Are there hundreds of thousands of people dying right now in Chechnya? Listen to this. This man is just making it up right out of his head as he goes along.
As Russia threatens to attack us with nuclear weapons, as nuclear power plants, at least one are being shut down, 20 to 40,000 civilians trapped in the city, Russian Hinds are being shot down, tanks are being blown to bits, massive Grad unguided rocket attacks are being launched on the city indiscriminately right now, air and artillery bombardments as well. It's absolutely out of control. It is pandemic, ladies and gentlemen.
What was the main thing that he concentrated on?
That Russia was imminently going to attack the continental United States.
You got it. That we were going to be nuked by Russia.
Right.
He spent 45 minutes of the first hour preparing his radio audience to believe that Russia was going to nuke us because of Y2K. Now, he claims that he's always said that Y2K would amount to nothing and nothing would happen. Well, you can see by what you listened to that that's not true. He was promoting it. And I listened to his show this morning. He's still saying that everything, what he's doing is pulling all the normal news that normally occurs that nobody ever pays any attention to, and he's blaming every bit of it on Y2K. If a little town loses their power for a few hours, it's Y2K.
Okay, maybe he was a little irresponsible then, but he researches everything now. He's got the documents.
Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked into or fact-checked something Jones said?
Okay, I'll research it a couple times after all this is over. Sure, you'll get a few things wrong now and then.
Hey, those are 9/11 truthers. That's right. We are at the centerpiece of Alex Jones' career. Him being the leader of the 9/11 was an inside job movement.
Well, this is no secret or something hidden. 9/11 could have been done by our own government. I mean, sure he doesn't talk about it every now and then, but it's worth talking about.
Well, then why doesn't Jones talk about it much anymore?
Well, probably because there's crazier things going on.
This morning, the Sandy Hook Elementary School was full of kids concerned about Christmas. And then at 9:40 a.m., shots rang out.
Ah, yes. Another staged mass shooting perpetrated by the government in order to pass gun control.
Is everything about it staged?
Yeah, so Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And it just shows how bold they are that they clearly used actors. I mean, they even ended up using photos of kids killed in mass shootings here in a fake mass shooting in Turkey. So, yeah, or Pakistan. The sky is now the limit. I appreciate your call.
Okay. I don't think the government went that far.
You see, Jones is accusing the victims of violent crime of engaging in fraud and manufacturing their victimhood.
That's just a step too far for me. And besides, there are more important reasons to listen to Alex Jones. Wait, we were just here. When are we now? You're home in 2016. But I thought you were the ghost of Alex Jones' past. I am, but all his fans are part of his past. And this is you when you first got interested in Jones.
The establishment is really trying to take Donald Trump down, and it's for real. I'm endorsing Donald Trump for president 2016 all the way. Donald Trump knows what's going on. He wants to defeat the globalist. I was told this in the last month after he came on by two prominent people. That's why Bilderberg and Davos are like, do whatever you have to, shut him down. But with Hillary, there's not even the same universe. I mean, she is an abject, psychopathic demon from hell that as soon as she gets into power is going to try to destroy the planet. I'm sure of that, and people around her say she's so dark now and so evil and so possessed that they are having nightmares. They're freaking out. Folks, let me just tell you something. If the media wants to go with this, that's fine. There are dozens of videos and photos of Obama having flies land on him indoors at all times of year, and he'll be next to 100 people and no one has flies on him. Hillary, reportedly, I mean, I was told people around her that they think she's demon-possessed, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say it, okay? They said they're scared. That's why when I see her, when kids are by her, I actually get scared myself for the child. I mean, that big rubber face and that... I mean, this woman is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. She is a demon. This is biblical. She's going to launch a nuclear war. The Russians are scared of her. You want to be part of this delusion club, the delusionites, the delusionals, where you think you're a winner and you think everything's okay because you said so. You're living in your own world. I know I'm right.
You see, this is how Jones lured you in and expanded his audience. But didn't Jones have the same principles and ideas as Donald Trump? You tell me.
I'm not a Republican. That's the point I keep making. This whole Democrat-Republican deal is a complete... People always go back to that, though. And it's all the same people behind closed doors. It's just a big joke. And your leadership, our leadership, it's all the same people. I mean, you do see a fight going on, but it's two different management teams of the same system, bidding for control. What I call the CEO jobs of Slavery Incorporated.
I mean, again, okay, Obama's bad. We're going to feel like winners by going for Mitt Romney, and it's all the same joke over and over again. It's so childlike. They trick you to make you think you've got a choice so that, oh, you're like a winner. And it's that idea that keeps us bound in bondage.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman.
In the 90s, Donald Trump brought his sons to the White House, writing, "The First Lady is a wonderful woman who has handled pressure incredibly well." Bill Clinton and Trump played golf.
They're members of my club, and I like both of them very much.
And remember this? The Clintons at Mar-a-Lago for Trump's wedding to Melania.
I said, be at my wedding, and she came to my wedding.
I thought it'd be fun to go to his wedding because it's always entertaining.
Then there is Ivanka and Chelsea, young mothers and friends on the New York social scene.
We're children and we love our parents, so that's the great equalizer, and that's the great common ground.
Trump contributed to Hillary Clinton's past campaigns and to the Clinton Foundation. The former president even met with Trump just before he entered the race.
Did you call Donald Trump and ask him to run for president of the United States?
No.
No? Because that would be pretty smart, man.
Yeah.
The capture of political and economic power by a tiny cobble of elites is characteristic of the twilight of all empires, including ancient Rome, where a small group of oligarchic families exchanged power among themselves as civic institutions became a farce and the state disintegrated under mounting repression, corruption, and the folly of endless war.
You do see a fight going on, but it's two different management teams of the same system, bidding for control.
I'm endorsing Donald Trump for president 2016 all the way. Donald Trump knows what's going on. He wants to defeat the globalists.
I can't believe what our country is doing. Gaddafi in Libya is killing thousands of people. Nobody knows how bad it is. And we're sitting around, we have soldiers all over the Middle East, and we're not bringing them in to stop this horrible carnage. And that's what it is. It's a carnage.
Well, nothing like having a chicken-necked globalist like Hillary Clinton, who flies around in armored Air Force 3s, making jokes and re-quoting and butchering Julius Caesar quotes of "I came, I saw, I conquered." Gaddafi's been killed without a trial. You'll die too, Hillary. And I wish no harm upon you. I want you to live out a long life with all your evil.
But we have to go in to save these lives. These people are being slaughtered like animals. It's horrible what's going on. It has to be stopped.
Libya was helping all of Africa, funding real projects. Compared to the globalists, Muammar Gaddafi was basically a saint. I just have to tell the truth.
Immediately go into Libya, knock this guy out very quickly, very surgically, very effectively.
They went in and took him out, folks. And now all Africa is going into the abyss. I love CNN, I love Fox, I love MSNBC. They're so truthful, they're so great. Funding the Arab Spring, supporting it. Oh my God, Trump's so horrible for saying no to that the last few years. Trump was so wrong in 2003, being against the Iraq War.
Are you for invading Iraq?
Yeah, I guess so.
The more I research what you've actually said and done, it's amazing. You were the only leading American figure who openly said, do not go to war in Iraq.
I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope. A year into office, you'll be saying, wow, I remember that interview. He said he was going to do it, and he did a great job.
If I'm elected president,
You have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
You have to wipe out their homes where they came from. You have to absolutely wipe them out.
You might use it in Europe?
No, I don't think so. But I'm not
just
taking,
say it. I'll never use a nuclear weapon in Europe.
I am not taking cards off the table. I'm not going to use nukes, but I'm not taking any cards off the table.
The trouble is that the sane people hear you, and the insane people are not affected by your threats.
Would there be a time when it could be used? Possibly.
Okay, I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left. I would bomb the shit out of them. I would just bomb those suckers.
Let's give the power back to the people.
And Donald Trump taking a big step today in foreign policy. Trump sat down for a meeting with former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, they know each other. They've talked by phone.
Everything evil you can imagine, Kissinger's always involved in it.
What's your feeling about President-elect Donald Trump, who you've met with?
It is an extraordinary opportunity. And I believe he has the possibility of going down in history as a very considerable president.
The immigration of Jews from the Soviet Union is not an obligation of the American foreign policy. And if they put Jews into gas chambers in the Soviet Union, it is not of America's concern, Henry Kissinger.
I happen to believe that Henry Kissinger was one of the most destructive secretaries of state in the modern history of this country. I am proud to say that Henry Kissinger is not my friend. Count me in as somebody who will not be listening to Henry Kissinger.
I mean, you can tell Bernie Sanders is as dumb as a pile of steaming dog crap. Oh, I'm so sick of these people, these pseudo-intellectuals with their moron followers. Donald Trump gave me a call, and I told him, Mr. President-elect, you're too busy. We don't need to talk. But we still spent over 5 minutes. He said, listen, Alex, I just talked to the kings and queens of the world leaders, you name it. But he said, it doesn't matter. I wanted to talk to you to thank your audience. It shows he's not the average elitist. These stuck-up nobodies who believe they control the world. We're going to drain the swamp, and you know you're scum, and we're just here to let you know you're scum.
And of course, on the first day, it was known that there were 31 strikes in Syria and Iraq. You know, the bombs are dropping in continuation. Sounded to me like it got a little kick up.
You know, I've admired Ron Paul and known him and been a friend, I guess, for 20 years. I've been interviewing him, 21 years. Maybe friends the last 10. But it's not the same as it is with Trump. Trump is so fire-breathing, so energetic, so cunning, so real, and he's having results so amazing that it just makes me be endeared to Trump. I'm ready to die for Trump at this point.
Senior U.S. officials are telling NBC News that the Trump administration is moving ahead with plans to make it easier for the CIA and the military to target terrorists with drone strikes, even if it means tolerating more civilian casualties.
We turn now to look at Yemen, where the U.S. is also rapidly expanding military operations. The U.S. has reportedly launched more than 49 strikes across the country this month. According to the New York Times, that's more strikes than the U.S. has ever carried out in a single year in Yemen.
The Wall Street Journal first broke the story last night that the White House was handing over the power to conduct lethal strikes to the CIA and military with no requirement for a presidential sign-off.
Meanwhile, the New York Times is reporting today that the Trump administration has approved the resumption of sales of precision-guided munitions to Saudi Arabia. President Obama froze some of these weapons sales last year due to concern about civilian casualties in Saudi Arabia's expanding war in Yemen.
Under the Obama administration, the CIA used drones for intelligence gathering, while the military conducted actual strikes. According to the Journal, that approval has already been exercised. The CIA first used its new authority in late February in a strike on a senior al-Qaeda leader in Syria.
And they're doing it. They're delivering. And it's so well thought out. It's so good. I've studied history. I've covered politics for 25 years, 21 on air. And I've never seen anything like this. This is bigger than 1776.
Fox News has now confirmed the United States military has launched dozens of Tomahawk missiles on sites in Syria.
Quite frankly, it's a stroke of genius if it turns out to work. It's much better than the Hillary and Obama plan and the rest of it.
I would certainly not do first strike. I think that once the nuclear alternative happens, it's over. At the same time, we have to be prepared. I can't take anything off the table.
He just got my vote.
Because you look at some of these countries,
He wants to go back
you look
to
at
MAD.
North Korea.
No
we're
first
doing
strike that
nothing
Obama
there.
started.
China should
Where
solve
we'll
that
nuke
problem
them first. No.
China should go into North Korea. China is totally
man.
powerful.
Peace through
as it
strength. He's the
relates
man.
to
China keeps pushing. The only option is full commitment to hit China preemptively. That's the only way to survive this nuclear war, and Trump knows it. And Russia has already been told they better stand down. The United States is preparing to nuke China. So get ready, assholes. All of you wanted it, you're going to get it. Turn that off.
This doesn't make any sense. Why would Jones suddenly change his positions and principles? He's deceiving you. And who are you? I am the ghost of Alex Jones present. What are you here to show me? I'm here to show you the Alex Jones of today. But I'm already familiar with what Alex Jones is like today. You will see outside the walls of InfoWars. Where are we now? This is a deposition room. It's where Alex Jones is giving his sworn testimony in a defamation lawsuit against him by the Sandy Hook families. Well, I bet he's got legitimate backing for what he says this time. I bet he's got the documents.
Would you raise your right hand, please, sir? You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
By the end of 2014, you had personally done intensive research, and you concluded it was all fake, correct?
Still objection as to form.
The specific areas I was talking about being fake, not in a totality.
Can you go ahead and play that for me?
But it took me about a year with Sandy Hook to come to grips with the fact that the whole thing was fake. I mean, even I couldn't believe it. I knew they jumped on it, used the crisis, hyped it up, but then I did deep research, and my gosh, it just pretty much didn't happen.
Mr. Jones, you did dozens and dozens of videos with that same message about Sandy Hook being staged.
And the kids are going in circles in and out of the buildings with their hands up. But then what do you do when they've got the kids going in circles in and out of the building with their hands up? I've watched the footage. And early on that day, we watched footage of kids going in circles in and out of the building. You'd be running them away from the building.
What did you mean by that?
The police should be getting the children away from the building.
This looks pretty weird, doesn't it, if they're not being run away from the building, right?
Yes.
But Mr. Jones, when you said this to your audience, you knew that wasn't the school. You knew that. Right?
Okay.
Mr. Jones, do you see that ambulance right there?
Yes.
Okay. These are two things that you and Mr. do.
The ambulances came an hour and a half later and parked down the road.
Why were the ambulances not even at the school? They were stuck at the firehouse.
Mr. Jones, if you saw ambulances parked next to that building, you knew it wasn't the school.
I have done almost no preparation for this. It gives me a headache.
Can we play the December 14th, 2012 helicopter firehouse footage? Mr. Jones, there's no elementary age children in this line of people walking, is there?
No, it's another clip we're talking about.
Yeah, see here's where they're walking in the circles? None of those people have their hands up, do they?
But there is footage that I've seen that shows that, so you're conflating two different things.
Really? Because you were talking about it in the footage on your show. You're saying there's actually a different piece of video footage from children with their hands up being led in circles in and out of the
From my memory, it's a live show, so the people in there are just throwing stuff up, and many times it's not accurate.
Sure. And so the video clip you were showing wasn't even of the school.
Objection as to form.
Correct?
I'm not sure about what video this is. It's so edited, but I wrongly have said in the past, off of news reports that I was relying on, that the children were going around with their hands up at the school when it was the firehouse. And that's one of the main anomalies that turned out to not be true, and the reason I changed my mind about a lot of things.
Sure. After 2017, right? Let's talk about the school itself. I want to show you two comments that you made on July 7th, 2015 and April 22nd, 2017. Can you play School is Closed?
We have the emails from city council back and forth and the school talking about it being shut down a year before. Then the school was closed till that year, and then the videos, it's all rotting and falling apart, nobody's even in it.
First thing, you admit now there are no emails between city council and the school in which Sandy Hook was being shut down. That's not a real thing.
Objection as to form.
This is almost 7 years old, but I do believe that we wouldn't, sometimes we're wrong about things, but there's always some news we're covering or a witness or something. So I can't answer that because of just memory.
Mr. Jones, you said it was 7 years ago?
6 years ago, whatever it was.
That clip we just played you was April 22nd, 2017.
We are back on the record at 12:58 p.m.
Mr. Jones, before we went on a break, we were talking about the issue of whether there were EMTs allowed into the building, and I provided you with a couple of copies of some police reports. Do you see the highlighted portion?
Yes.
I'm going to read that, and you're going to follow along with me, okay? I then walked into a room with Sergeant Cario. At first glance, it did not appear there were any casualties. To the left of the room, as you walk in, there was a bathroom in the corner. There was a massive pileup of bodies in this room. At this time, I did not know it was a bathroom, and I wondered how the suspect had the time to kill that many people and stack them in the corner of the room. Sergeant Cario stated he was an EMT or maybe a paramedic, and that he had to check to see if anyone in the pile may have survived. I agreed, as the bodies were stacked 2 and 3 high, and that some of the children at the bottom who were able to cram in first may have escaped bullets. He began to check for life signs, wounds, and attempt to find a pulse. The victims on the top of the pile redacted, and many of the bodies had injuries that were obviously fatal. It appeared as if the teachers in the room, immediately upon hearing gunshots, began to pack children into the bathroom. The children that were sitting on the floor of the bathroom were packed in like sardines. One little girl was sitting crouched in between the toilet seat in the back corner of the room. I thought she may have had the best chance for survival. As Sergeant Cario got to the last bodies, it was clear that no one had survived. You've never heard of Sergeant Cario, have you?
I haven't.
And you didn't know what he did in the building that day?
Objection as to form of the time.
You can answer. You didn't know what he did in the building that day? Hearing that your murdered child received no medical attention, that's obviously distressing. Right, Mr. Jones? That's distressing.
Objection is to form.
It is distressing. That's why I was distressed just in general hearing those reports.
Wait, when you say you were distressed hearing those reports, what reports are you talking about? What reports?
Again, this was over, how was it, 7 years ago?
You know this is the one day you were to come down here and testify about Sandy Hook. Mm-hmm. And are you going to tell me you haven't done anything to try to figure out what happened in those 7 years?
Objection is to form.
Is that what you're saying? You walked in here totally unprepared? Just winging it today?
Objection is to form.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Do you have the respect enough for these parents in this lawsuit to actually go back and try to find out what happened? I want to ask you about death certificates. I want to play you a clip of something you and Mr. Dew said February 12, 2015 and November 18, 2016. Can you play sealing death certificates for me?
Yes, they're sealing the death certificates and everything.
They made it a felony to release birth certificates or death certificate information. What kind of country is that, where you can't release birth certificate and death certificate information?
Mr. Jones, sealing the death certificates, the fact that they were sealed, something you and Mr. Dew both said. How did you confirm that?
Objection as to form.
I don't want to answer these things incorrectly, so my memory is, I remember that they were saying it was the most sealed case ever, and that it was in the news, that there were all these lawsuits about unsealing things, and that the records and the redacted police reports, this report you give me is almost all blacked out. This is what people were talking about. And so I can't accurately answer off of edited tapes. I've never seen anything like that. So I'm trying to answer your questions.
You ever try to order a death certificate? They're $20. Anybody can get any one of them. Do you ever try? When you talked earlier about you did deep research, what was that? What deep research did you do?
Well, I did look at the news articles saying they were being very secretive about the case. A lot of things were sealed that was unusual. There were lawsuits involved with that, and I did do research on Bloomberg putting out an email the day before, things like that, saying get ready, there's going to be a big event.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up the Bloomberg thing. I remember there's a couple episodes where we've talked about this Bloomberg email, and you said to your audience that there was an email that came out in a lawsuit where Bloomberg told his people, get ready in the next 24 hours to capitalize on a mass shooting. That didn't happen. That's not a real email, is it?
I don't think it's exactly that, but there's one similar to that.
Yeah, what you said is not real.
Objection is.
Bloomberg never told his people, get ready in the next 24 hours to capitalize on a mass shooting. That did not happen.
Objection is to form.
I believe his gun organization did.
I want to ask you about photos of the children. So I'm going to play a video clip about something you said about photos of the children. This is something you said on September 25th, 2014. Can you play photos of children?
And then photos of kids that are still alive, they said died. They think we're so dumb that it's really hidden in plain view.
Mr. Jones, you can admit that statement was absolute nonsense. There are not photos of children who died who are actually still alive.
That is an out of context clip. I can't even respond to something like that.
It was widely reported during your divorce that your attorney said to the judge that you're playing a character, that you're a performance artist. So I want to ask you, I want to know, when you were making these claims about Sandy Hook, were you being a journalist or was this all performance art?
Objection is to form.
When I say things on air, I believe it.
At InfoWars, it was known from the very start that parents were being harassed by believers in the Sandy Hook conspiracy. You agree to that, right?
No.
Objection is to form.
InfoWars didn't know from the very start that Sandy Hook parents were being harassed.
No, we did not know from the very start.
Can you, I want to play something, I want to play a clip from an InfoWars episode on January 18, 2013.
A lot of people on YouTube have handled it in a rather insensitive way. Of course, we've had reports about them harassing some of the people who were involved.
Over the years, there started to develop tension between you and the Sandy Hook parents after they started complaining about what you were doing, correct?
No.
Okay, no tension. You will admit, you've done mocking imitations of Sandy Hook parents crying, correct?
No.
And then you've got parents laughing, going, and then they walk over to the camera and go, and not just one, but a bunch of parents doing this. Then we see footage of one of the reported fathers of the victims, Robbie Parker, doing classic acting training where he's laughing and joking and they say, hey, we're live. And he goes, oh.
When you did this stuff about the crying and your imitations, this was all in service of an argument that some of these parents were actors, right?
Objection as to form.
No.
I've looked at it, and undoubtedly there's a cover-up, there's actors, they're manipulating, they've been caught lying, and they were pre-planning before it and rolled out with it. We've got people clearly coming up and laughing and then doing the fake crying. We've clearly got people where it's actors playing different parts of different people.
Who were the actors playing the different, what were the different people where the same actor were playing the different parts?
I'd have to see the context.
But that was something you believe that was true?
Of an edited tape, I don't know what the context is.
Well, I mean, look, Mr. Jones, we can see you say actors enough time that you and I can both admit, you can just admit right now, there have been multiple, repeated times where you have accused some of the parents of being actors.
Objection is
right?
No, I covered the internet talking about how people look like actors. This is edited, I can't comment on it.
Okay. And if I get, let's withdraw, if I get Paul Watson here to testify, he's going to tell me he never believed in the crisis actor thing and thought it was a bad idea to talk about crisis actors. That's what he's going to say, isn't he?
Objection as to form.
Yeah, because, I mean, he legitimately is his own person, and we don't tell people what to say or what to do. I respect him, and we have different points of view. We've had debates about Sandy Hook on air.
You have different views about journalistic ethics, too.
Well, I mean, when such a big internet debate that's going on, and then we cover that debate and I give my opinion on it, that's what happens.
Okay. As time went on, starting into 2015, you learned that a Sandy Hook parent named Leonard Posner was behind a group called Honor Network. Correct? That was fighting online abuse of Sandy Hook victims?
I did, I think.
And when you learned that, and when Honor complained to YouTube in 2015, you told your viewers that Honor was run by Mr. Posner, you showed addresses being used by Mr. Posner, and you said he needed to be investigated in Florida. Didn't you say that?
Objection as to form.
No.
Okay, let's play a clip here. I'm going to show you something that you and Mr. Dew were talking about on February 12th, 2015. Can you play addresses for me?
He's been getting all kinds of grief from Mr. Posner. Anything that comes out, social media shut down due to Sandy Hook false copyrights. What's interesting is they list the address for the Honor Network in Boca Raton, Florida. You look up the address on that, which says 908 North Dixie Highway. It is the address for a women's clothing store and a UPS, U-Haul rental place. U-Haul neighborhood dealer. So here's the 908 North Dixie Highway. There is no suite, but it's got two different buildings listed that address. One is a J&J Shop women's clothing store, and you go to the other one, same address, U-Haul neighborhood dealer. Now you go to their About Honor Network. I go to this one right here, guys. You can leave the camera right there. Honor Network right there. It lists
They say they're in Connecticut.
It says they're in Newtown, Connecticut, but you go to that address, it's a U-Haul UPS store. I'm sorry, it's a UPS store. Same address, Main Street, Newtown, Connecticut. It's a UPS store. You think, you know, if they had this organization, they would have some sort of headquarters where they would be setting up a memorial.
Well, we'll just start investigating that. I guess I'm going to have to probably go on up to Newtown. I'm going to have to probably go investigate Florida as well.
If a person were to stake out those addresses, they could wait for Mr. Posner to come pick up his mail, couldn't they? So if InfoWars, if it happened that InfoWars went and searched and dug through records for private business filings and used DMCA reports that it had gotten to suss out that Mr. Posner was the head of Honor and then reported it to its audience, that wouldn't be a good thing if that happened, right?
Objection is to form.
So I can't comment on hypotheticals.
Sure. Oh, so if I was to say to you, if somebody was to come along and strike your hand with a hammer, would it hurt? You can't answer that question.
Objection is to.
I'm not striking anybody with hammers.
I'll take it. That's no.
Jesus. There's no excuse for this. But doesn't Jones still have First Amendment protection? I mean, he says stuff like this about government officials all the time. but speech is protected when you speak of or defame public officials and government. However, when you defame private citizens in your accusations, there is no protection for defamation. Jones has been facing legal trouble for other private citizens he defamed. Comet Ping Pong with Pizzagate, Chobani Yogurt with hiring rapist refugees, falsely identifying the Parkland school shooter, and the list goes on. Lives are being destroyed. People are being forced to move because of repeated death threats from Jones's stories. Okay, he's really crossed the line here. God, he can't get any lower than this, can he, Spirit? Spirit? Oh my God, I know what you are. Reptilian overlord, why do you show yourself now? Why do you reptilians walk the earth and what do you want with me?
Zionist government, Jewish media,
what?
Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones.
Oh my God. Welcome to InfoWars. I'm your host, Alex Jones. Let me start out by saying we're having a blowout sale on InfoWars suppositories. In fact, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, a zoom in shot right here. Yeah, see that? Not too big, not too small. See, they're really easy to use. In fact, I'll show you all right now. You just pull your pants down. Yeah, get it up in there nice and deep. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Ooh. Now let me tell you, these little guys are your friends. You want to be ready for when the government jackbooted and Antifa thugs try to rape you in the butt in a FEMA camp. These prevent the spread of AIDS that I mentioned and exposed yesterday as a gay frog disease. I have the government documents from 4chan, as well as this handwritten note on a pizzeria napkin from the CIA. In fact, can we get a document cam shot right now? Get it right there. See right here. Whoops. That's from the CIA. See? This is high-level CIA right here. Right here. On the napkin. That's from the CIA right there. You know I don't make sources up. Alright, now to the big story. We've all seen the classic Christmas movie that's been out last, what was it, 15 years? The Polar Express. The movie was meant to teach children to get into a stranger's car. Oh God. We traditionally been taught not to talk to strangers or take a ride from them. Now the pedophile elite have our children exactly where they want them. Nowadays, with the creepy old man ask you, "Are you going to the North Pole, little boy?" The kids just go along without question. Oh my God. Nothing but a human trafficking child sex ring, singing Christmas songs, taking children to the global pedophile rings vacation spot in northern Canada. I need all info warriors to self-investigate these Polar Express trains we've been seeing all over the country. Never leave your child on one of those trains. Never take them anywhere near those trains. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one thing we must do. We must stop this Christmas from coming. We must shut down the mall Santas and end those pedophiles allowing kids to sit on their laps. We gotta burn the Christmas trees. We must end this pagan holiday knockoff. Make it about Jesus Christ! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Oh God, Spirit, please have mercy. This is a fate worse than a violent path to death. I can't take anymore. Christmas can't be destroyed. Oh, there's no place like home. 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 There's no place like... What time is it? It's still Christmas Eve, and the party hasn't started yet. I haven't missed it. It's Christmas Eve! It's Christmas Eve! I've missed it. What a glorious Christmas Eve! But first I gotta pick a new hat before I go. Alright, don't want to be late for the party. I stopped by to give you your present. Thought you were not coming. Looks like you had a party of your own. Didn't want to wake you. I think these books will help you. Merry Christmas, David.